OrlandoMagic.com.
Dwayne, what have you guys been able to do in shoot around today? Over the course as you guys prepare for the Bucks and maybe try to get some things ironed out on the defensive end.
We just gotta get reconnected on the defense end, and that's what we tried to do today. Go over a lot of their plays. If Giannis play, lock in on him. Make sure we have extra help because he's so dominant getting downhill and finishing at the rim. I think he, more than half of his shots are at the rims, like 70 or 80, something like that, I think. So we know what he can do. We know, two-time MVP, and we just got to be alert and try not to leave guys one-on-one on the island with him because he's a big guy that can really score the ball.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Dwayne, when the season started, we asked you a lot of questions about the areas of your game you wanted to develop. And I'm curious, now that you're 3/4 of the way through the season, how do you feel, in what areas do you feel like you've grown and developed?
I feel like I've grown in every aspect. I mean, it's gonna be a time throughout the season where, guys don't make shots like they want to make shots, or, guys don't finish how they want to finish. And I feel like that's kind of my time right now. I'm in this little slump where I haven't been making my threes and stuff. But I mean, as the season went on, everybody in the organization seen I can make shots and seeing what I could do on the offensive end. So it's just continue to work, continue to get things done, and maybe tonight, tomorrow, and things will start falling, and I'll be back to normal. So you just got to keep working.
Dante Marcatelli, Valley Sports Florida.
Dwayne, you're the only player on this roster to play every game this year by far. You've had 24 different starting lineups, which is the third most in the NBA. It's kind of been a revolving door, as you know, guys in and out. What have the challenges been with that? And kind of, I guess, how proud are you that you've been able to stay on the floor, knock on wood? Exactly. During the NBA season, that trade deadlines come. That think guys are gonna get cut and guys are gonna get brought in. I mean, it's just how the game goes. It's our game is big on injuries. It's always gonna be injuries. It's always gonna be guys got to sit out because they have this little knack and it's irritating them, and if they play it could get bigger and stuff like that. So I just try, and I'm not saying that other guys don't, but we have a lot of guys that take care of their bodies, but things are just hurting those guys. Things are just hurting. We played the most games with 8 players I probably ever in the NBA season. I don't know, but it's just like little stats like that makes you think like, geez. And then for me to, play every game, be in every practice, it's like I haven't really took a day off since the season started, and I'm perfectly fine with that because during this season, that's the goal, to get better and keep striving and keep going. And I just don't want to be, if I'm not hurt, or, if it's not a family issue with my kids, then I should be here playing, and that's what I'm going to do. So it's really not about the street for me. It's just I love the game so much that I don't want to sit out no night. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not hurting really bad to where I can't move, I can't run, and I'll be playing.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Dwayne, you played for Cliff as a young guy in Charlotte coming into the league. You played with him under him here. For new guys like Wendell and RJ that are younger, coming into a Coach Cliff system mid-season, what are some of the tougher things to adjust to, and that you need to know when you're playing for him, in the rotation?
Honestly, man, it's just if you could take care of your part to help the team win on the defense end, and you're fine with Cliff. He's a guy that's very well defense first, never complains about what type of shots guys take. Never really get on to guys about shots unless you're just not hitting them or you're just not passing the ball. But other than that, we don't really have no problems with the offense end. It's really the defense end. So if you can come in and you can lock into the defense end and take care of everything, do your part on the defense ends to make the team better, to make it, one complete effort, then you'll be just fine with Cliff.
and the playing hard aspect. That's pretty much it. He's consistently hard on playing. You got to play hard as you can, and he's consistently hard on. You got to defend every night, and that's how you win games.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Dwayne, what are your impressions of Wendell Carter and what he brings to the table?
He's better than I thought he was, for sure. He plays hard. You know, in this league, it's a lot of big time centers. And he goes out there and, you know, just try to treat guys like, you know, just they're regular guys. Like, I love the way he played against Rudy Gobert. I'm excited to see him play against Vooch, especially for the team switch. So, I mean, he so far, you know, since he's been here, he's been playing very, very well.
Josh Allen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hi, Dwayne. How have you seen Chuma Okeke grow throughout the season, and do you feel like he's starting to really gain more confidence?
Chuma is a guy that barely talks, but he barely talks, but he works extremely hard. You know, always in here early, always getting shots up, always trying to learn, you know, just how to be the best, you know, the best him. And if you got that, you're gonna always grow. You're gonna always get better. A guy that rarely talks but takes so much in is you know, always one of those guys. And he's like, you know, one of those guys. He rarely talks, but when he does, it's like a funny moment. He just, you know, trying to brighten up everybody's day. But on the court, he works so hard, and he does what he, you know, he does what he's supposed to do. And I'm really not surprised. We have the same agent, so I'm really not surprised. When my agent came to me, it was like, you know, I want him. And, you know, you look at a player like, man, like, and then you get to the NBA and it's like, dang, like he's actually really good. And I remember like the first game I actually seen Chuma just play. I text our agent. I was like, yo, he could be, you know, so good. And he shoots well. He pass, he defends well. He can get to the basket. Like, he can really do pretty much anything.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Dwayne, what are your initial impressions of RJ Hampton?
Young guy, very young, raw talent, you know, plays hard, has so much energy. And him too. They, you know, all our young guys, him, Cole, Wendell, Mo, the younger guys, they work hard. And those kids have been, you know, those guys, I don't want to sound super old, but those guys have been, you know, pretty much waiting on their opportunity. And I know it's just their first year in, but you know, now they have the, you know, the opportunity to play games, and those guys are, you know, trying to make the most of it. They're going out competing every night, no matter who we're playing. And that's really all you can ask from, you know, a younger player. Especially, I know when, you know, I was with Cliff my first year coming into the league. I wasn't young as some of these guys, but, you know, all Cliff asked me to do is just, when you're out there, just do what you're supposed to do. Try to fit in the best way you can. And they're doing just that.
Dante Marchitelli, Valley Sports, Florida.
All right, Dwayne, tonight on the telecast, we're breaking down degree of difficulty on some of your shots, your ability to get into the lane and contort and get your shot off through contact, through traffic. It doesn't matter. Just kind of take us where that developed. Did you have to learn that out of necessity somewhere along the way, or you feel more comfortable absorbing contact and making a move? And just take us through some of that.
Honestly, I feel more comfortable, you know, playing through contact. I feel, you know, it's just, I've been a scorer for so long. It's just how my game have built around me. And not saying it's always the best case to, you know, try to do those tough shots. But for me, I feel like that's when I make the most baskets, when I'm hitting tough shots, or, you know, my college coach at Florida State used to always say he's a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. So it's just like, ever since then, I just kind of, you know, not try to live by it, not saying that, but that's just how my game been.
Josh Robbins, The
Thanks.
You alluded to the upcoming game against the Bulls. I know you've faced former teammates before. It's not new to you, but what do you think it will be like to play against Vooch?
I mean, played against him before, but not really played against him. So it'll be fun. Vooch is crazy talented. And honestly, I didn't know that until I really got here, how good Vooch was. So just being on the other, actually like knowing how he really can play the game, and then now being on the other side and playing against him is gonna be fun. I'm sure those guys. Wendell is probably gonna be super amped up. To play against his former team where he's been, his whole career so far. So I mean, I feel like it'll be a good game, high intensity, and just two teams competing as hard as they can.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Dwayne, you talked about Chuma being quiet. I'm just curious, had you had the chance to listen to any of his music? And if so, what some of your thoughts were on it?
I listened to a lot of Chuma's music actually. I got a couple of his songs in my playlist. And we play it in the weight room sometimes, and he just, anytime we play, he just laughed, he just smiled, like he won't even say anything then, but he has so much passion that he puts into his music. So I like him for that, because it's like he's a guy that don't talk, but like one of those guys that don't talk and they just try to explain things through other things, and he's explaining pretty much his life through his music. As I sit there and listen to his music, it's like, man, like you really saying like, what he been through, and how he lives, and the respect he has for certain situations. If you really just listen to his music, he got some good music.
Go ahead, Dan.
Dwayne, the meaning of his new song / album is that, different. He's built different. He had a different approach. Do you feel a different type of vibe from his music? It's a unique sound to it.
He definitely has his own sound for sure. I'm into music, so it's like I listen to music probably 85% of each day, and he definitely for sure has his own sound. He's a different guy, like you said. Like his meaning of the album, it describes him at best. He's a different type of guy. Like he doesn't do anything, like regular people. Like he just chill. Like he don't have to be, in the limelight. He don't have to be, on the scene and be seen. He can just really creep around you and already in the gym 30 minutes before you, and you wouldn't even know he was here. So he's definitely a different guy.
Any final questions? Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it.